Hi, this is Neil with another review for Puzzling Parts. Fairly recently I did the review having visited Scott Peterson up at his workshop, and today I'm going to show you a couple of Scott's puzzles. The first one is Scott's Rosebud. This is one of Stewart Coffin's designs. This one made from flame wood and Indian rosewood. A really beautiful puzzle, very accurately made. So this is really nice. I'm very pleased to have got one of these from Scott. One of the reasons for wanting to show you this is that this is a beautiful coordinate motion puzzle. So if I move this, and I'll show you in a close-up how this works, pushing the pieces together and somewhat inward, the whole puzzle shifts and all 6 pieces move in a coordinate motion, leaving you with the puzzle barely hanging on to itself. So you're left with this beautiful puzzle opened up like this. Now, the work that Scott's done on this is absolutely stunning. The pieces are beautifully made, the motion is remarkably precise, and it's a fairly tight fit. There's no chances of this falling apart unexpectedly, and in fact you can move it right onto its very tip and the puzzle is still perfectly stable. So looking at that, you're very stable. It's a very nicely made puzzle. So very pleased to have this from Scott. Scott also produces a jig for the Rosebud. Some of you may know that when Stewart Coffin originally made this design, he made it, sent it out to people, and very few people solved it early on. This is a very difficult puzzle to put together. Shortly after he'd sent it out, Stewart Coffin waited some time and then offered people to buy a jig in order to assemble the puzzle at a rather expensive price at the time, almost as much as the puzzle itself, and I know quite a few people took him up on that. One of the nice things about the Rosebud puzzle is not only has it got this beautiful coordinate motion, it actually also has a secondary solution. So you have this beautiful coordinate motion, which is very difficult to put together, and there's also a secondary version of the puzzle, which isn't a coordinate motion solution. So one of the few three-dimensional puzzles that allows you to do both solutions. So that's the Rosebud from Scott Peterson. Really beautiful puzzle, and I'm very pleased to have it in my collection. Thank you very much, Scott. Now, while I was there with Scott, Scott actually very kindly gave me this. Now, some of you may recognise the shape as a cluster buster. Again, another Stewart Coffin design. This in fact isn't actually a cluster buster at all. This is a cluster plus, which Scott had been working on. And if I can find the correct motion to open it, I'll show you how this one works. So there we go. Completely different to the cluster. This one actually separates into 2 independent halves. And again, interestingly, this is actually a coordinate motion to join the 3 pieces together. So you'll see if I get the orientation correct on this. There we go. So the 3 pieces actually come together in a coordinate motion in that axis. So there you go. Now this is actually a fairly rare copy of Scott's puzzle. Not only is the Cluster Plus a fairly rare puzzle to start with, but this is actually one of Scott's shop copies. So this isn't his final quality, and it was an early version that he produced while he was working on the puzzle. So again, very happy to have that in my collection. So I just like to say thanks very much to Scott for having me up, and thank you for these wonderful puzzles. Thanks for watching.